how we do it, which I can actually do both since I'm coming from, currently I'm with Department of Finance, but previously I worked with semi-government. So when it comes to expert employees, I mean with experience, attracting them or maintaining the national, and especially now, and in a finance-related sector became extremely difficult in government, especially since we have banks competing with us, which most of the time candidates from organizations or government organization will look forward to work with banks. It's not only related to package, it's the experience which they would love to have as well. So we do welcome such transition between government to private, but when it comes to fresh graduate, we look into it differently. So currently what we are trying to do is to collaborate with universities and give them our long-term recruitment or manpower requirement in order for them to advise students which majors they should apply for. So it will help all government entities by the time the graduate will be graduated from universities to find the suitable position they are looking for.
Thank you, Huda. It's very interesting. Well, at AWR, we look at it in a dual sort of track. So we have early career hires and we have experienced people. So for our early career hires, we like to do something similar. We partner up with different universities. So we partner up with Ajman, University of Sharjah, and ACT to have some of our early career hires. For our more experienced ones, we do specific leadership development and management development so that we're able to also have them in some key roles. So currently we have about 13 roles in leadership at AWR.
Fantastic, thank you both. Now, Huda, you touched upon industry, and I'm very pleased to hear that you think banks have a competitive proposition. The UAE is quite uniquely positioned in the sense that the government sector is very attractive for jobs. That doesn't happen everywhere. But how are you guys finding how Emirati nationals distinguish between the propositions that the private sector and the government sector offers? What goes into their decision-making process, and how are you guys responding to that in your roles? And perhaps you'd like to go first on this one, Caroline.
Okay, thank you. So definitely the public sector is still appealing for the nationalization, because it's very structured. However, in the private sector, we also are able to offer a variety of different roles, experiences, and innovation. So at AWR, we have different verticals, and this will allow them to have more career growth and more experience across, and allows for a bit more mobility within the organization.
Again, when it comes to government, we see it the other way around, that the private sector is more competitive, especially with NAFIS. Okay, so there is two categories. The fresh graduate will always go for private because the package which they will get from private, including with the government support NAFIS, it's much way higher than the one we're going to offer. But on the other hand, the career growth they're going to find in government, the career growth they're going to find in government, they might not have it in the private. That's from my perspective, because since we are only focusing on Emiratization or nationalization, so for us it's very important the day he joined the organization, he have a clear career path and career growth. So that's a reassuring for him, like in 7 or 8 years he's going to reach a managerial position, and if he's really competent, within 8-9 years he will be on a director level. So that's one thing. But if a person is looking more different experience and he wanna work with multinational people, then he will choose the private sector, of course.
Great, wonderful. And we now have Mike each, which helps. One of the things I've noticed coming here is that the the effort that people make and certainly perception is that a huge amount goes into the hiring process, and everything's about hiring. And as we do workforce planning at Standard Chartered, we distinguish our own approach into what we call buy, build, borrow, and bot. So we think about where we want to hire skills and bring them into the organization externally. We think about where we want to build them by reskilling our own staff. We think about where we want to borrow them, either by allowing employees to do gigs or bringing in consultancies to help. And of course, increasingly, we're all thinking about bots as we think about what tasks can be done by AI and what tasks are done by humans. So moving away a little bit from that buy element and the hiring, of course, a huge challenge is then developing and then ultimately retaining the Emirati talent. How are you guys thinking about that development proposition and the retention challenges that you have today? Huda, would you like to go first?
When it comes to retention, so we look upon different components. It's really important that we look into the employees' engagement in the organization. That's one factor that helps to retain employees. Second, which I already mentioned, that the people have a clear career path, they know where they are moving forward, so it will help to retain them. Third, which is the most important thing, that we do the yearly benchmark when it comes to compensation and benefit in order at least to ensure that we are within the average of the market. I won't say we are on the higher level, but at least within the average of the market. But when it comes to the government, it's all the same. So we look into retention seriously. The other thing which we do is I believe everyone has, who are your key talented employees. So within my organization, I do something called an stay interview, where we identify those people which are our talented people, and we conduct an stay interview with them in order to know what will make them leave the organization, and we work proactively on that plan in order not to lose our employees.
Thank you, Huda. For me, retention is about belonging. You need to make sure that you create a purpose for people to belong. We do this with our WIDE program, which is our promise to our people. And we do, like Huda says, we also do a lot of development and recognition as well. Recognition is very key. In addition, we work with regards to their well-being. So we have our Layaka program, which talks about well-being, and we've had over 600 people join the Layaka program across AWR.
Can I just expand upon that a little bit? Is the proposition that you've got there very much distinct and specific for your Emirati talent? Or is that some of the things you're describing there for everybody?
So the WIDE program is distinctively for our Emirati talent only. Layaka as a well-being is for the whole population, not just